Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone to another episode of Confidence is Overrated. Have you ever heard the advice, sweat the small stuff? It is something that I have heard Stephen Butler say a lot in the Diary of a CEO. So before I say anything, I just want to say this. I love Stephen. I love his podcast. It's one of my favorite podcasts. And I think he's incredible, smart, thoughtful, and that's why he's so successful. But there is one thing that he's always saying that I don't fully agree with. He says that one of his mantra is to sweat the small stuff. And it's this idea that we should always be focused on the details and in always improving. And I think this depends entirely on where you are in your own journey, what stage you are in that journey. Because if you are just starting something new, or if you are even thinking about starting something new, whether this is a project, creative idea, a new habit, a new direction in your life, a new business, a new hobby, something new or different that you want to start doing in your life, I think this advice of sweating the small stuff of any new direction in your life, any new or different direction in your life, I think this advice of sweating the small stuff can be one of the worst advice you could follow. Now, let me be clear why I say this. If you are already good at something, if you are already in the arena, if you have been doing the work for a while and you are already in progress, then yes, sweating the small stuff is a good thing. It can help you improve. It can help you get from good to great. And that's how you improve. That's how athletes, how sport teams improve. That's how musicians get better. That's how high performers become who they are and become high performers because they refine, they optimize, they polish what is already working and they make it even better. They make incremental improvement to what is already working. So that makes total sense. But that is not the same as those people who are just starting or thinking about starting something. When you're at that stage, at the beginning, in the level 0 or 1, it's actually harmful to yourself, to your dreams, to sweat the small stuff. Because as I say, if you're already good at something and you want to become better at that, yes, sweating the small stuff makes sense. But when you are just starting in any domain of life, when you are starting something new, sweating the small stuff usually becomes imperfectionism. So these are the moments when you doubt yourself, you start waiting to be ready, you start waiting for clarity to arrive, you start waiting for everything to be perfect, or you simply overplan, over research. And you are always caught in that stage of getting ready, getting prepared, because you are sweating all the details, because you are focusing on all the small things that could go wrong and could go right, and all the things I need to have ready and need to have perfectly prepared before I can start. When you sweat the small stuff as something you are not yet competent, as something that you haven't yet started even, you usually struggle with self-doubt, with overthinking, with confusion, and with paralysis about what to do. And we always telling yourself, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do yet. I have to prepare. I have to get better. I have to plan more, prepare more, research more, because you have that fear that you will do it wrong, that you will fail, that you won't know how to do it. So you get caught at that stage because you are always thinking all these small details that you don't have yet perfectly curated. So here at that stage, you don't need to have the perfect plan. You don't need to have better details. You need to get momentum. You need to get traction. You need to get movement and start going. Most people I work with, and maybe this is you, are at the beginning of their journey, of at the beginning stage, at a moment when you are just taking the first step. You have an idea, you have a dream, you have something that you want to do, or something that you want to change, something new or different that you want to try, but it still feels unclear. It's raw, it's messy, it's unrefined. It's like at that initial stage, you don't fully know how it's going to work yet. You don't know the exact plan. You don't know the exact path. You don't know all the steps yet. And when you hear the phrase, sweat the small stuff at this stage, what it usually turns into is overthinking, perfectionism, analysis paralysis, waiting to feel ready, and not starting and feeling like you are not prepared because you feel this pressure of, oh, I cannot move until I don't have all the perfect details figured out. And that's where most people who are at this stage get stuck because they don't even start. Not because they are lazy, not because they don't care, but because they are trying to get it right before they have even started, because they are trying to get it perfect before they have even started. So the truth is this clarity, that clarity that you are looking for at that initial stage doesn't come from thinking or from preparing or from researching. It comes from movement. It comes from moving. So whenever you have these ideas that don't feel perfectly formed yet, whenever you have a general direction, but you don't have a specific, the exact destination yet, I want you to know that you can still take action, even when your idea isn't fully formed. You can still launch the project. You can still start creating content. You can still explore your new path. You can still try something that feels aligned, even if it's not perfect. Because movement sharpens your vision. Movement helps you create that clarity that you're looking for. So here's what I believe instead. Clarity doesn't come from thinking. Clarity comes from moving. Clarity comes from taking action. You don't need the perfect plan. You don't need to have the perfect research or the perfect information. You don't need to have a perfect version of your idea yet. You don't need to know exactly where you are going or where this is going. You just need to focus on having the direction where you want to go. You might want to know, I want to help people. I want to create something. I want more freedom. I want more joy. I want more happiness. I want more fun. I want to change careers. I want to feel like I'm doing something meaningful. I want to feel more like myself again. All those things are directions. All those things are enough to take the first step. You can take action on something that is not fully formed. So this is just a simple reminder that you can take action even when something is not fully formed yet, even when something is not fully clear yet, even when you haven't figured out all the details yet. Because movement is what gives you feedback, is what gives you data, is what gives you and create that clarity that you're looking for. That's why starting by taking messy action and failing forward is actually what creates momentum to keep going. And here's the part that not many people talk about. When you start at anything, you will probably do things wrong. You will change your mind. You will pivot. You will feel like you are failing a lot of the time. And you will change destinations. You will change what you are doing because that's information. Because every time you have a small failure, every time you notice, oh, this is not the right way to go, you are noticing, oh, this is not the path to go. I need to go another way. I need to do it in another way. I need to do something different. I need to try something different. And that's information, that's feedback, that's data that allows you to create that clarity that you are craving. Failing often is information. That's how you learn what works and what doesn't work. That's how you learn what you like and what you don't like. And that's how you learn if something works for you or it doesn't. The first time you tried ice cream, I'm sure that you didn't know what was your favorite flavor yet. And you started trying different flavors. You saw one, you saw strawberry, or you saw chocolate, or you saw vanilla, and you started trying them. And that's how you figure out if you like them or not, if it was for you or not, if that was your favorite ice cream flavor or not. You didn't feel like you were failing. You just were collecting information about what aligns with your taste, what ice cream flavor is made for you. And that's kind of like life. Anytime you try something new in your careers, a new project, a new hobby, even a new relationships, when you meet new people, or go to new places, or travel to new cities, you are discovering and learning about what is made for you, what is specifically something that calls to you, that makes you feel like it's for you, that gives you meaning, that gives you purpose, that gives you joy. It's the same with anything. So whenever you are starting at something, I don't want you to sweat the small stuff. I want you to try the small stuff. I want you to focus on the experiences of trying different things, on failing and learning from it. Because the truth is that you don't find the path before you walk the path. You find the path by walking it, by walking on it. So I think the better rule is this one. First, focus on starting, then focus on improving. Focus on sweating the small stuff. First, you get into the arena. Then you worry about refining your game. Sweating the small stuff too early is like trying to edit a book you haven't written yet. You first need to focus on writing the book, and then you refine it, then you make it better, then you edit the details. But first, you have to focus on what is the story, what is the main character, what is the next page, what is the next chapter, what is going to happen, what is the general storyline that I want to tell. Then you focus on all the other details. Because to be able to improve anything, you need something to work with first. You need that body of work first. So here's what I want to leave you with. There is actually a right timing to sweating the small stuff. But first, focus on stage one. So if you're in stage one right now in your life or in something new that you want to try, I want you to focus on starting. I want you to focus on trying things. I want you to focus on experimenting with options and with alternatives and with different paths or different systems and build that momentum. And then when you already have something that is working, something that is creating some kind of momentum in your life, in that new project, in that new hobby, in that new thing that you are doing, and you feel like you are going to stage two, then you focus on polishing, you focus on refining, you focus on optimizing and improving all those small stuff, improving all those details that you know you can improve. But first, you build the team, you build the skills, you build that muscle of taking the action, and then you make it better, you make it stronger. But you first focus on doing the thing. In my case, for many years, I said I wanted to create content. I said that I wanted to share my ideas online, that I wanted to write, that I wanted to record videos. And probably like for the last 2-3 years, I said I wanted to start a podcast, to start doing videos in YouTube. And I never did it. And the reason is because I always have these excuses that I needed to have the perfect equipment, that I needed to have the perfect camera and the lighting and to have the right place to be able to record. And I needed to have a room with good sound or that not many people will go there. So you will have other sounds. And I needed to have the perfect topic and the perfect scripts and who I was going to do it with. And I needed to create the channel, and the channel needed to have this perfect image, right? Or the perfect title, or the perfect description, or someone who will help me to edit the videos. And I told you this because I started noticing that was all bullshit. Like when you notice your own crap, like you continue telling yourself the same excuses and you start noticing their excuses. Because you need to have the perfect video, the perfect camera, or the perfect lighting, or the perfect setup to start anything. I know, right, that I need to sweat the small stuff a lot. In the sense that the videos for this YouTube channel, for the podcast, I know they're not perfect. I know they're not optimized. I know they need a lot of work still. I know I need to improve a lot of things. I need to optimize a lot of things. But I also knew if I never started the channel, if I never started recording the videos or recording the podcast or sharing my ideas, I could not optimize anything. I could not improve anything because there was nothing to optimize. There was nothing to improve. There was no skills that I was building by not doing anything, by waiting for everything to be perfect, for having the right equipment or someone who would help me edit or the perfect environment or, the office or the recording studio to do it. So I just decided to start messy raw, like how you are seeing right now in my living room with a cheap microphone from Amazon, with my phone camera, and recording from my computer. My setup is very basic. I'm just here in my living room talking to you, recording this video. But that was the only way I could start, because if not, I will continue waiting for 2, 3, 4 more years. I will never do it. So I'm not saying you will always have the perfect success or that everything will be okay and perfect if you just start. But if you don't start, if you never do it, you will never be able to improve your skills. You will never be able to optimize the results that you get. And you will never know if you like it, if you didn't like it, if it worked or not for you. So I think at the end, the message I want to transmit to you today is that don't sweat the small stuff if you haven't yet started. If you haven't started and you continue thinking about something and going over it over and over in your head, and you keep postponing it for later. And what you do really get this, just focus on starting messy. And then along the way, I promise, focus on improving it. But at the beginning, focus on just taking that first step. Focus on just doing the messy video or the messy recording without having the perfect camera or the perfect microphone or the perfect space. I remember when I decided that I wanted to run my first half marathon. I had never run even 1 mile in my life. Seeing my boyfriend run marathons made me want to do a half marathon. And I remember that I asked him, what is your advice for anyone who wants to start running and anyone who wants to start training for their first half? And he told me something that I was not expecting. I think I was expecting all these things about, oh, you need this kind of shoes, or you need this kind of, watch to measure your pace, or you need this kind of training plan, or you need this kind of fuel or nutrition. Like I was thinking all these logistical things, all these little details that are important along the way. But I was thinking he was going to say, I don't know, you need to buy this kind of shoes, right? Or this kind of, or you need to buy this kind of shorts or this kind of clothes that will help you when you are sweating. His response, which looking back is obviously the most important thing, his response was, you have to run. Very, very pragmatic and very to the point. But when I asked him, I still remember that when I asked him, what do you recommend? What is your advice for anyone who wants to start running, for anyone who wants to start training for a race? That was his advice. That was his response. You have to start running. I think we forget sometimes about that. We focus on all the little details that we need to improve or to optimize, or all the things that we feel like we don't have. So I have to like to buy the perfect shoes. I have to focus on how I step my foot. If I step like this, or if I stay like my with my toes first or with my ankle first in the ground. I have to focus on my posture, what kind of garment I have. I have to focus on my playlist, or the thing that I'm going to eat before or after the race. And all those things, all those little details create a difference. But if you don't start running, if you never run, all those details won't ever make a difference, because they can only be improved, or they can only have an impact after you start running, after you have started training for it. So I think I never forgot that. I remember there was a time I didn't have my sneakers here, and I only have my Converse. And I think it was probably like almost 2 weeks I was running with my Converse. I don't recommend that. So, but my point is that the shoes, the perfect garment, the watch that tracks your pace, the perfect fuel, or the gels, or all those things, the electrolytes, all those things make a difference, but only after you start. And if you don't start, if you never take that first step, all of these things are irrelevant in your journey, in your progress, in your life. So focus. If you are in stage one, if you are in level zero, just thinking about doing something or just at that starting point of your journey of something new that you want to do or something different that you want to try in your life, focus on doing the thing. Focus on that first step. Focus on starting. And then focus on optimizing it and improving it and making it better. But at the beginning, just focus on the start. So instead of asking yourself, what is the perfect way to do this? What is the correct way of doing this? I want you to try asking yourself this. What if one small action I could take this week, I could take today, that will help me get going, that will help me move towards the direction that I want to go? What is one step that I could take this week or today that move me closer to my goal? You can also ask yourself, if you are not sure where you are right now, you are not sure if you should focus on just get going and doing it messy, or if you should focus on optimizing and improving what you are already doing, I want you to ask yourself this. Am I stuck because I need more clarity? Or am I stuck because I'm afraid to move? Because I'm afraid to start? So if you are ever in that position, I want you to ask yourself, am I stuck because I feel like I need more clarity? Or am I stuck because I'm scared to take action, to just start, to move? That will tell you what you need to focus on. And then really ask, what would good enough look like right now? Because I think we often have this image in our heads about what is perfect, what would be the perfect condition, the perfect result, the perfect outcome. Because we take this big expectation, we take this big dream or this big idea, this expectative of what things should look like if everything was perfect. We make it bigger and more difficult than it needs to be. What would good enough look like if something was just enough? It didn't need to be perfect. It didn't need to be great yet. It didn't need to be the perfect result or the most amazing result, the most amazing outcome, the best that you have ever done or that you have ever produced. If it was good enough, how would that look like? If it was a good enough result, a good enough journey, a good enough feeling, what would that look like for you right now? Because at this stage, you don't need to make things bigger or more complicated than they need to be. So instead of waiting for confidence to appear, for confidence to arrive, start creating that confidence by doing, by taking action. And if you're at the beginning of something right now, if you're at the beginning stage of something that you want to do or try, new goal that you want to accomplish, let this be your reminder that you don't need to sweat the small stuff. You need to start. You need to move. Sweat the small stuff later. But right now, sweat showing up. Or simply, if you don't know how to start taking action and you are stuck there, ask yourself, what is the messiest version of this that I could do? And do that. Like the messiest version that you could do. Focus on doing that. If you don't know how to start, ask yourself, how can I do this the messiest way? The most imperfect way. Focus on actually doing it like that. Focus on actually taking that action and doing it the messiest way. And if this resonated with you, I want you to send this episode to someone who is overthinking, just starting, just taking that first step towards something they want to experience or something they want to try or to accomplish in their life. Because beginnings are supposed to be messy. Beginnings are supposed to be raw. And messy and raw is how momentum is made in your life. That messiness is actually what creates the momentum that you need in your life. The momentum to keep going for more things that excite you in your life, for more joy, more peace, more happiness, more meaning, more purpose, more learning, and more growth too, which is often uncomfortable. So I just want you to know you are not behind. You are not late. You don't need to do it perfect right now. You just need to start. You are just at the beginning of this journey. And beginnings, as I said before, are supposed to be messy. Beginnings are supposed to be confusing a lot of the times. Beginnings are a lot of the times unclear. They're supposed to be unclear and confusing. So if you have been waiting for a sign to start, that thing that you keep thinking over and over and over in your head, and that you keep saying to yourself or to others that you are going to start, that you will do, that you will try, but you keep postponing it for when you are ready, for when you're more prepared, for when the timing is right or the conditions are perfect. If you keep waiting for a sign, I want you to make this your sign. I want you to make watching this video your sign to start that thing that you keep thinking over and over. This is your sign to start now, whatever it is that you keep thinking over and over. And then focus on making it better, on pivoting or refining it or polishing it or optimizing it. But right now, just focus on starting. Deal? Deal. And if you have someone that you know are struggling with this too, send this video to them, send this episode to them. And as always, I'm rooting for you. I'm in your corner and I'm grateful for you. You are amazing and you are worthy of creating a life that you love. So never forget it and get out there and do something about it. Get off your ass and do something about it because you are capable of doing it. Thank you for listening or watching to this video. I will see you in the next episode next week. Bye bye.